Hi, if you don't know who I am, my name is Liam, and here on this channel, if you're new here, we watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and then we come back at the end of the week, and we have like a chat about it. It's like, you know, if you don't have any friends who watch it, or any friends, period, yikes. I mean, you know, if you're really lonely and you don't have any friends to talk about RuPaul's Drag Race, and you decided to make an entire channel dedicated to watching it with people, this is all becoming about me. Okay, so before we get into anything with this episode, I want to talk about the BB conspiracy. So a couple of you guys, and I'm going to put some comments up down below of you guys letting me know about this thing that's going on. And you'll also notice in some of that there's a Discord one as well, just to let you know if you want to make some friends that like RuPaul's Drag Race and other pop culture stuff, you can go down to the description below, click the link, and you'll become part of that community. Bunch of real weirdos over there. Just love them. So there's this BB thing, and if you're not filled in, I'll give you the Reader's Digest version. So here's what happened. Some Instagram guy, not gonna say his name, might put up the picture, so he'll be seen here, but he made a very interesting observation that BB might be a mole. Because, like I said in the last video, I don't really get this whole Handmaid's Tale storyline that's happening here. I did watch Handmaid's Tale, and he was mentioning about a mole, and how in this season of RuPaul's Drag Race, there might be a mole. If you've watched Handmaid's Tale, you'll know that the mole aspect of that show is huge. So there could be a mole. And who would be the mole? Of course it would be BB. The conspiracy goes is that BB at the end will help Ru decide who the winner is, also depending on what they were like in the workroom. Which I don't really understand how that works, because what is that saying to future contestants that they don't want them to be bitchy, or I don't know, like, because we want them to be bitchy. That makes for really good entertainment. So I don't really know if that'll work. So anyway, the idea is that BB throughout this whole series, this season, is going to be safe, or is going to be in the top. They're never going to land in the bottom, that she's not going to be in any danger ever. This makes sense. So in the last video that we had done, and we had a talk about episode 1, I had said that they're gonna go in and Chi-Chi's gonna say, I know, I should have done better. I was shocked that she was shocked that Aja had picked her to go home. I felt like Chi-Chi wouldn't have held it against Aja if she had chosen her. And I didn't really think it was that big of a drama. I kind of felt like we were all on the same page, that Chi-Chi was probably more deserving. I was also expecting like a bigger blow up about how Ben had sent Morgan home instead, because she thought that there was some kind of agreement amongst all of them, which wasn't true. That didn't come up at all. Also, while this whole first part's happening, I'm looking at BB real suspicious. Like, I'm looking at everything she's doing, everything she's saying. Not to go back to that too much, but I'm gonna be watching her like a hawk moving forward. Kind of like I'm watching Milk like a hawk, for completely different reasons. He is so pretty, although his attitude stinks. We had a bit of a discussion last week, and by we, I mean there were comments going through and I was replying to them and stuff about how Milk has got this diva thing, but they were like, no, he was joking. But in this episode, is he still joking with the whole my song is going to be bigger than Supermodel was? Or is that just like, is he completely delusional? So when Ben was given Julie Andrews, part of me was thinking, ooh, that's rough. But that was, I don't know if it was like what Ben did with that performance that made it so good, or the audio that she was given. It was really hard not to make that funny. Like, you would have had to try hard not to make the Julie Andrews soundtrack not funny. Like, it was just inherently good. I'll get into a bit more about that later, but Ben did a really good job, and I didn't think that was how that was gonna go down at all. So during this whole episode, Thorgy's getting a really bad edit. She's getting a lot of time, and a lot of it's like really bad stuff that you don't really want to be edited into. And I've spoken to my friend Sam about this before, and he is 100% correct, but I just keep forgetting it every time I'm watching a show, that whenever there's like more airtime on someone in a negative light, you kind of know she's gonna be in the bottom before we even get to that point. I'm an idiot and an airhead, and I just completely forget about that. But while I was watching this, I was thinking, wow, Thorgy's getting like a really bad edit today. But she's also just got a really shitty attitude as well. And the whole time during the episode, she's still blaming Bob. Why are we giving Bob so much airtime, Thorgy? Stop talking about Bob. This is your moment now. I really like Thorgy. I've always really liked Thorgy, but during All-Star Season 3, whatever this attitude is that she's brought into it, hasn't been really very nice to watch. She's very stressed. Also, just the subtle shade. Like,
you remember last season when they clocked Katya's wig for not being perfectly Diana's iconic hair?
She wasn't home that episode.
We all know that that's just the way they banter. We're in on the joke. God, I love those two. So with the performances, Kennedy, wow. I always feel really funny when I talk about these kind of things because I could not do anything close to as good as any of the girls did in this episode or Kennedy do, but holy shit, she missed every word. Kennedy did not a single word. It was just all mouth shapes. I was floored. So I really liked Aja's Amy Winehouse. I think the look was really on point. I think it was as on point as it could have been for Aja, and not saying like to Aja's skill level or anything, because I think Aja's a really main contender here. I mean, to getting her to look as much as Amy Winehouse as she could as being Aja. I think she did as good as she possibly could at. The performance was, I don't really know what more she could have done to make it fun. It was a safe thing. I don't know what more she could have done though to make it better. I just think she did the best she could do. Chi-Chi was good. Chi-Chi did really, really well. But at the same time, like some of these performances came off a lot easier than others. Like that is just true. There was funner music with Chi-Chi's than anyone else kind of had. Like that was a really fun dance bop to go along with. Some of the other girls had a much harder time making that inventive or entertaining. Trixie looked stunning. That could have gone really badly. Just the whole Dolly Parton thing, because there wasn't too, like she was kind of in the same boat as, Trixie's in the same boat as Thorgy was in, because Trixie's one, she had some moments where she really had to grab in there with Dolly Parton's voice and do like some kind of little quim to sell at home, which Thorgy really didn't do. But Trixie looked the part and she put on a really good performance. But again, there wasn't anything in there that kind of made you, like, it wasn't anything that was a winning performance. But again, I don't have any suggestions of how she could have made it a winning performance. I feel like maybe she needed to get that guitar out of her hand earlier, because when she handed that guitar off, that's kind of when some more funner gestures could have been done. Maybe that's what the problem was. But it was great. It was not by any means a bottom performance. Shangela killed it. I am really here for Shangela. I'm putting her in my top as well. I'm like, as of now, I'm thinking Shangela's gonna be up there. I want Trixie to be up there, but I don't know if she will. I don't know. I think Shangela Aja could be very much up there. And I'm gonna put Trixie up there too, just because I want Trixie to be up there, but I don't know if she's necessarily a main. Oh, I really want her to be. But anyway, I'm putting Shangela up there at the top because she's got a lot going on for her, but that track seemed to be very easy to work with. It was basically a comedy routine, which was gonna win you that. But she did a killer job with it. So with Thorgy's performance, this is hard because I don't really know, I don't really know too much about Stevie Nicks. I know enough about Stevie Nicks to know that she could have done more with it. I think the problem was she was too in her head about who Stevie Nicks actually was. So look, this is what I would have done. I think Aja had the right idea about the witchy thing, because I know Stevie Nicks has got this whole witchy, there's this witchy thing that's going on. I mean, they had a whole American Horror Story surrounded by like Stevie Nicks being a white witch as well. So there's this witchy thing that she could have played into, like maybe when Katya did that, where she ripped off the bangs and there was like a witch, that satanic symbol, and then the blood, like not copying that, but in that same realm. And we have to listen to that track because the tracks were setting them up to do something with them, all of them. And at the end of Thorgy's track, she had something that said, "Oh, Ru, I'm dizzy." And that is the cue. That was the punchline for her. So she needed to be doing something during that whole performance. And this is what I would have done, where I would have been spinning a lot. Just spinning all of the things. Spinning them, like playing off the spinny thing with witchy elements thrown in. Maybe saging the place. I don't know. I feel like maybe that's the direction she should have gone in. Spinning and witches. Spinning witches. And again, I'm not a drag queen. I've never, well, actually, I have been a drag queen before. If you want to check out that video, it's on the main page. But I have never performed as a drag queen before. Heck, I've never performed before. That's not true. I was the lead little kid in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang back in the day. There's a fun fact for you. But what I'm saying is, I would not be able to do any better than she did. But that, I think she went about it wrong. You know what I mean? So down to some of the outfits of the reworking challenge. I really want to talk about Aja because she looked beautiful in that. And I really thought that maybe there was going to be a little bit more spoken about the dress and how she looked, because it was such a recent transformation, because we only saw it like last year. And it was such a step above. Like, it was next level compared to what it was. And maybe that was because, you know, she had more time to prepare the gown. Maybe she had more money to get the gown made. I don't know what it was, but I thought that was beautiful, in my personal opinion. With Chi Chi's look, though, I don't know if it was better or just different, because it was kind of like, I kind of preferred the older one more than this one, but I would have preferred the older one if she, you know, did some curves on her, put some hip pads in or something, because the palette on that one was really quite nice, I thought. This one, the coat was just like she rolled through a secondhand store and rolled out the other end, which is fine. I mean, work, but it's exactly what it looked like. But even when Michelle said to take it off, I felt like it needed something else. I just didn't love Chi Chi's at all, really. So with Trixie's one, I liked her face, like everything she did up here was incredible. The dress, I get it was supposed to be an ugly dress, but what I was expecting her to be red on, which I was so worried about when I saw it first, was that it was really loose around the middle. And I get that it was maybe supposed to be like a 90, and that's how 90s are, but I thought that Michelle was gonna go in on Trixie for it being so loose around the waist and not cinched in some way. Not with like a corset or anything like that, but just like some kind of fabric that was pinching it in. But it's meant to be an ugly dress, so maybe that's fine. But that was something, but I thought overall it was a much better look than what she had done in the past. Kennedy's look was good. I thought the reveal, it was funny. That look originally was very funny, and this was funny, but it was glamorously funny. So Thorgy's look wasn't great. I didn't think it was great. I feel like, you know how she said her old look was her daughter and this was the mother? I kind of felt like the old look was not like the level 1 Pokemon, and then she evolved into that, but they still had really bad stats. It was very arts and crafty, which isn't a bad thing necessarily, but it wasn't, like BB's look, for instance, was really polished. That was like tailored to the max, which is what we kind of expect in All Stars. So Thorgy's one was kind of like, I made this in the workroom like 5 minutes ago, which I don't think was the case. They all came with this. So when all the winners and the bottoms got announced, the drama that was going on behind was shocking to me. First of all, Milk needs to suck it up, because not everyone's going to be getting a gold star, honey, and all of everything that had been done kind of was safe. But, you know, hit me up if you're ever in Sydney, because damn, I'm here for this alliance thing. I was so excited for this, like, Game of Thrones, make alliances to win thing, but the whole Kennedy and Shangela conversation, what a low blow. I mean, when Kennedy was like, $100,000 means nothing for our friendship, because she didn't say anything wrong, because Shangela gave her an out. She was like, what would you do in my position? And she said, $100,000 is not worth this friendship. Like, what do you do with that? How do you now get rid of her? How do you do that? I would have done the same thing Shangela would have done. I just would have, because look, you can't do anything with that. The lip syncs thing is like so intense. I kind of feel like Ben won that though. I don't know. I feel like Ben won that lip sync more just because there was more happening in it, but at the same time, she was doing a bit that was working, but Shangela was still like giving it her all, and she was bringing props in and going really fiercely at it, while Ben was kind of trying to win us over with a mimic thing again, which she did already. So I can see why Shangela won. I've been in 2 minds of it, but I don't get why Shangela was so intent on winning that, because if I was in her position where it was between my best friend and probably someone, like my best friend is probably the one that I should send home, I kind of feel like I would have done everything to kind of do my best, but not as good as the other person, because I didn't want to make that decision. And I'm sure that's a bit of a scapegoat, but I wouldn't have wanted to be Shangela in that position. God, I was shocked that Thorgy's gone home so soon. Like, Thorgy, to me, would be right at the top there, but for whatever reason, whatever's happened in these first 2 episodes, she has not really rubbed off the stigma of not the stigma, but the Bob show thing. She's been carrying that around for years now. Like 2 years, which is a lot to carry around. And mind you, when Thorgy was kicked off, she got brutal. Not brutal, but just like, this is gross. And when she's standing there holding the thing and going, what's going on? Is this gonna explode? I did a really good belly laugh when that happened. I mean, well, we're gonna see her. She's gonna come back. They're gonna get their revenge. Although it would have been better if Kennedy was coming back to get her revenge on Shangela. That would have been great for us. I'm so excited to see what's happening with this Handmaid's Tale whole storyline thing because it is lit. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this. If you did watch this and you enjoyed it, consider hitting the subscribe button because I will be here every week recapping RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 3 or how many other weeks it is because Lord knows I ain't got a damn clue. So guys, I will see you next time. And in the meantime, just, you know, live your life and do something. I don't know. I'll see you later. Bye.